Hello there. My name is Sam Cooperstein, and I will be giving your devotional for today. In this season of COVID, unrest, racial tensions, riots, there's just no shortage of things to talk about. But luckily, these devotionals are only 5 minutes, so it forces us to say what we definitely want to make sure is said and not rant like I'm about to do right now. But anyway. So in starting this devotional, I'd like to read from John chapter 4, starting at verse 7, where Jesus approaches a Samaritan woman at the well. And I'm sure many are familiar with it, but I'm going to read it anyway. So when a Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" His disciples had gone into the town to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? For Jews do not associate with Samaritans." Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get the living water? This living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and his flocks and herds?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." He told her, "Go call your husband and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem." Jesus declared, "Believe me, woman, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know. For salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in spirit and in truth." The woman said, "I know that Messiah, called Christ, is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Then Jesus declared, "I who speak to you am he." So, such a great story. We've read it and heard about it so often and studied it, but especially in this season, it's been coming back to me. I've shared it with my life group folks, so sorry for this repeat if you're listening, life group. But it's interesting to see and encouraging to see Jesus pressing into things that are difficult to press into, especially at that time and especially at this time. He dealt with prejudice, he dealt with gender, and he dealt with lifestyle. And those are hot topics then, and they're hot topics now. And he didn't pretend it wasn't there. He didn't shy away from it, and he didn't condemn it. But if you notice, Jesus spent time to enter into that space, and he listened. He knew the answers, but he still listened, and he engaged. And in this time, what an opportunity for us to listen and engage. She had a story, and he wanted to hear her story, and he had some things to add to the story. I'd like to share a short story with you, and I think it's relevant to where we're at in this season, and it's just a little bit about my life. I'm born from a mom who's Mexican and a dad who's half Mexican, half Ukrainian Jew. So I'm kind of a mutt. My mom came here. She was born in El Paso, Texas. She came here when she was a little girl, very little, and her language was Spanish. She didn't speak a lick of English, and she recalls to me, for many years, my brother and I have given her a hard time. "Why didn't you teach us Spanish? Why didn't you? We live in Southern California. Why didn't you speak? You speak great Spanish." She never spoke to us in Spanish, and that's why I have the accent I have. Is Southern California, not a lick of Mexican in my accent. Well, she explained to me what really changed her view and how she wanted to raise us. Is as a little girl, she was in line to get her. I guess they had doctors at the school at the time, in elementary school, and they were doing their little checkups and checking their feet, making sure everything's good, temperatures and such. And as she remembers watching the doctors play with the little blonde girl in front of her and really engage and be present and make it a fun experience for this little girl. And she remembers being excited to be next, like she was actually looking forward to it. But when she was approached by the doctor, his expression dropped and he wasn't kind to her and he treated her pretty badly. And it saddens me that my mom went through that. But it also helps me to understand her intentions raising me and my brother and my sister, that she was trying to protect us from being hurt. But the hurt was real. And that's just part of my story. It's really more of my mom's story, but it affects generations and how they move forward. And so I would just pray that at this time, with so much prejudice and so much oppression going on, that we would take the space to lean in and to listen and to engage and not pretend it's not real and not pretend it's not there, but to hear the stories so that we can better understand. And that's my prayer for the whole church. Some have already entered into that space and some have yet to even realize there is such a space. But that's my prayer for you, and that's all I got to say. So God bless you guys and have a great day.